Could we be getting an animated series for Baldur's Gate 3? And an NFL team teams up with Dungeons & Dragons for a new actual play.
Can't wait!
Welcome to another holiday week edition of the Fantasy News, and before we talk some Baldur's Gate and unlikely actual plays, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? It's totally free and it really does help us cut through the AI slop out there. And then, let's dive into the news. Neil Newbon, the voice behind the now legendary Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3, and one of the nicest people we've ever had the privilege to interview on this channel, has teased some potential future projects for Astarion even after the current release of the Forgotten Realms books, which include Astarion's Book of Hungers. And it's not just a return to Baldur's Gate 4 down the line. In fact, Newbon would love to bring back Astarion in two completely different formats in the near future, with live action and a potential animated series both being mentioned in a recent interview with Gaming Bible, the link for which is down in the description. While the man behind everyone's favorite elven vampire was also down to reprise his iconic role in future versions of Baldur's Gate, with Larian Studios having no interest in creating Baldur's Gate 4, it seems the actor is more focused on the possibility of playing Astarion again in a live action or even animated series, saying, quote, "I would play Astarion if they asked me, but it's not up to me. I'd be up for playing him again. I'd love to see him in live action, that would be a hoot. We did some really fun animations with the YouTube channel Mashed and Larian Studios, and that was a hoot. To be honest with you, man, I'll play Astarion in any way. I just want to do something more with him." While a live action adaptation could be amazing, D&D based live action adaptations are notoriously difficult to get into production. Just ask Joe Manganiello, who has been shopping what is by all accounts an amazing Dragonlance script for years and years and only recently seems to have gotten any interest from Wizards of the Coast in potentially getting that made. But an animated Baldur's Gate 3, well, if we look at how successful the Mighty Nine and the Legend of Vox Machina have been, the fan base is clearly there for an animated fantasy series, which would have the massive added bonus of being able to feature all the voice actors reprising their iconic characters versus a live action adaptation where many of them would probably have to be recast. So while nothing is set in stone, Astarion himself seems on board, and the idea could print money. So hopefully D&D and Wizards of the Coast decide the minor risk is worth the huge reward and make Neil Newbon's dream come true sometime next year.
Well, here we are again.
And in more strange D&D news, they are the unlikely focus of the NFL's Kansas City Chiefs' new one-hour actual play called Dungeons & Defense, featuring some of the Chiefs' best-known players like Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, with content creator and cosplayer Anna Margaret as the Dungeon Master. The actual play, which features 6 Kansas City Chiefs players in their first ever D&D campaign, and a minimalist setting full of black fabric and candles, is not as intricate or in-depth as the Cleveland Browns D&D game that friend of the show and our first real interview Johnny Stanton made famous with ESPN, but the Chiefs players do get a handle on the rules fairly fast, and start showing a genuine interest in D&D and their characters. It's a fantastic reminder of how far D&D has come from those early days where admitting you played D&D got you bullied at school to a place where Stranger Things, Critical Role, and even the NFL have really helped push the entire TTRPG community into the spotlight in a positive way. The actual play itself isn't terribly deep, there's no Brennan Lee Mulligan or Mercer level story at play here, but the table itself is very fun and very enjoyable. And if you want to see some NFL stars slowly start to fall in love with D&D, it's well worth the hour of your time, and could be the start of a full ongoing series from the former NFL champions. And that's all we have this week for the Fantasy News. Let us know what your favorite story was down in the comment section, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.